What happens when there is a disease outbreak? What causes a disease outbreak? An outbreak is a name given to a sudden increase in the number of people who have the same illness at the same time. Scientists work to stop outbreaks of serious diseases before they cause widespread illness or death. Sometimes a disease can be stopped from spreading by number one, identifying how and where the disease began, and number two, eliminating it. Finding the source of a disease can be complicated. Several years ago, for example, many people suddenly reported getting sick with the same symptoms. Epidemiologists asked questions and listened for common experiences. The source of the illness was E. coli. Even though the sick people lived in different states, they had one food item in common. Everyone who had the disease had eaten spinach. Scientists then traced the spinach to what fields it came from. Eventually, they learned what had happened. The spinach had been sprayed with water containing harmful E. coli bacteria. The water was accidentally contaminated through animal feces from a farm. Finding the source was important. Other E. coli outbreaks have been traced to water, meat, and other raw vegetables such as lettuce. Over here in our terms, outbreak, sudden increase in the number of people with the disease in a particular time and place. E. coli, a type of bacteria that can live in the intestines of humans and animals. Some strains of E. coli cause severe illness and even death. Stopping the spread of disease. When an E. coli outbreak is traced to a food item as the source, the food is recalled. That means stores and restaurants who sell the item stop using it. People who have the food at home don't eat it. Outbreaks caused by E. coli bacteria can be contained once the source is found. The contamination problem is fixed, and people stop eating the food. But there is one more important step. Just as E. coli was first caused by animal feces from a farm, the feces of an infected person carry the bacteria too. When an infected person uses the toilet and doesn't wash their hands carefully with soap and water, everything they touch when they get up from the toilet has the bacteria on it. One way to get infected by E. coli is to eat contaminated food. Another way to get it is to touch something another person has touched who used the toilet and didn't wash their hands. When you touch something that they touched and then touch your own mouth, you transfer E. coli into your own body. And here's a picture of E. coli bacteria on a lettuce leaf from a microscope. Keeping people separated. All communicable diseases cause problems, and sometimes people die. To contain a communicable disease, it is important to stop infected people from infecting other people. Washing your hands is the most important way to try to keep yourself and others safe. Sometimes, though, people who are contagious are kept in quarantine. They stay in one place and don't go near other people that they might also infect. However, a person can sometimes be contagious and not know it. This happens when a disease has a long incubation period. The incubation period is the time between when someone is first exposed to a disease and when they start to have symptoms. When incubation periods are long, many people will already be infected by the time an outbreak is discovered. People can spread a disease before they even know they have it. Different communicable diseases have different incubation periods. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, recommends staying away from other people for 24 hours after your fever is gone if you had the flu. For the flu, that means one whole day of feeling well again before being around other people. Okay, and here's a couple pictures. It's important to monitor your body temperature when you are sick. Washing your hands for 20 seconds with soap is key to containing communicable diseases. And we have a couple terms here. Contain means keeping a disease from spreading. Quarantine means keeping infected people away from others to keep infection from spreading. Incubation period is the amount of time between exposure to a disease and beginning to show symptoms. During this time, an infected person is contagious. All right, your stop and think questions, again, are on the Google document, and this was reading number 3.